of this year's MotoGP World Championship here at the Red Bull Ring. Congratulations to our podium finishers. Race winner for the third race in a row in 2022, Ducati Lenovo team rider Pecco Bagnaia. A fantastic second place for Monster Energy Yamaha rider Fabio Quartararo. He's lost the sunglasses. I think that's the first mistake Fabio's made all day today. And third place goes to Ducati Lenovo team rider Jack Miller, having started from the front row. Pecco, as always then, we will start with you. It was almost the perfect Sunday. This great run of yours continues. It looked like you made the dream start from that second position, whole shot into the first corner, avoided all the trouble in the chicane. Apart from the small move that Jack made on you at turn 9, you led for the whole Grand Prix.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best way possible to finish at this weekend. But I was surprised to start like this because I wasn't competitive till yesterday in the FP4 because I was struggling to be fast. And finally, I think we did an enormous job yesterday, so I'm very happy. To be safety today, we chose to use the soft front tire. That wasn't the best choice, I think, because I had a lot of front locking. But anyway, I'm very happy with the job done, and let's try to continue gaining points. Will not be easy because Fabio is, like always, is so competitive, but we had to try.
We've just seen on screens actually here the move that Jack made on you at turn 9. Talk us through that, and how important was it for you to take the lead back very, very quickly? Because he was fast.
Yeah, for sure, because I was already having a lot of movement from the front, and I said if I stay behind him, I will surely have too much pressure on the front. So when I looked at him that he overtook me so easily, I just tried to drop a bit the lap time, to drop a bit the pace, and I was able to open a bit of gap. So I'm happy about that.
You've had great runs previously in MotoGP. Cast our minds back to the end of 2021, but this is now 3 wins in a row, coming after an incredibly difficult moment in the Sachsenring. Do you feel now that you're at your best level in MotoGP and the Ducati is at the best level as well as you go into some important races in Misano and Aragon?
For sure, I can say yes, because I never won 3 races in a row. So I'm happy that we use this moment to improve myself, thanks to my family, my team, and to my girlfriend and World 46, because all together we worked to find the mistakes, to find the reason of the mistakes and try to improve. For sure, I have to learn a lot of more things to arrive at the level at some riders that was in the past at the top. But I think that I did a step in front, and I have to continue in this way.
Another great job by you today, Pecco. You said it's your first time 3 wins in a row in MotoGP. You're just the second Ducati rider to do that in history after Casey Stoner in 2008. And another stat as well, only one other Italian in the Premier Class in the modern MotoGP era has won 3 in a row. And that was none other than Valentino Rossi. So congratulations today, Pecco. We'll move on then to second place, the reigning world champion, Fabio Quartararo. Fabio, I don't really know what to say because you said in the TV set you rode like a lion, nothing more you could have done on that Yamaha today. It's not a win, but in some respects it must feel like one.
Yeah, it was a great race. A shame we didn't make a great start, great first laps. I was a little bit struggling with the front to warming up, and also the rear. I saw Joan had a big crash in turn 4, and it took 1 or 2 laps to warming up, and then I could take my pace, was really good. Then I was struggling to overtake, but I feel like today I was, super aggressive. I make many mistakes, but I could really save them, and was a tough race, but a good one, of course.
One of the key moments of the race was lap 25 when you were so strong in those last laps. You made an amazing move on Jack in the new chicane. That's probably coming up on screens. Well, it's coming up right now. Actually, talk us through this, Fabio, because I think you've just said as well it was one of the top 3 overtakes you made in your whole Grand Prix career.
Well, I think this lap he braked a little bit earlier than before, and I braked a little bit too late. So I say, okay, I have to try something because. Is a place where in the beginning of the weekend and even yesterday I thought was impossible to overtake, and I said, okay, for sure he will not really expect a move in this corner, and it works.
After the disappointment of Aston and Silverstone, where we expected you and the Yamaha to be strong, a lot of people had written you off this weekend because of the strength of the Ducatis, but here you are, second, increasing your lead as well in the World Championship with Misano. We know how good you are there as well. So was this a real much-needed result, a big boost for the rest of the season for you?
Yes, a big boost, because since FP1, maybe not FP1, but FP2, I was always in the middle of the Ducatis, you know. There was always in the top 10 or at least 6 Ducatis, and I was in the middle of them. So was mentally was good, because, you know, you take reference of them, and we know how strong they are in this track. But was great to see their strong points in this track.
Fabio, you did ride like a lion. Many congratulations. A fantastic second place today. We move on then to the man third in the race. Third for the third time in the last 4 Grand Prix, the Ducati Lenovo team rider, Jack Miller. Jack, you told us sitting there yesterday in the qualifying press conference, important to keep this momentum going, keep the ball rolling, and you did just that today.
Yeah, it was important. Again, just since we've come back from that test in Barcelona, every week it's been there or thereabouts, no matter the circumstances, with long laps or whatever included. We've been able to challenge for the podium, and 3 from 4 we've been able to get. So it's been great. The bike, you know, I had a fantastic bike today. A bike good enough for fighting for the victory. You know, I felt like I needed to get that move done, as Pecco said. He knew my intentions at that point in time, because I'd been behind Anea and himself, and we both had that soft front, and I knew I needed to get some cool air on that thing. So I had a lunge, and I wasn't quite able to pull it off. And yeah, just was suffering a little bit to try and get it to pull up after that. And he was able to put the hammer down and creep out a 10th here, a 10th there, and yeah, that was it. And then later on in the race, I really started suffering. I don't know if it was from the amount of time spent behind other bikes. Started suffering quite a bit in the left-hand corners, which were my stronger point at the beginning of the race. So yeah, it was just, especially in that chicane, you know, I wasn't able to attack as aggressively as I would like. I was having to sort of be conservative and prepare and get the exit. And then, yeah, Fabio came past me and made me look silly through there. So, no, hat off to him. He rode a fantastic race to come through, because he was quite a bit back there at one point, from what I gathered from the pit board. And the same to Pecco. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, him get out front and just charge off like that. And it takes a massive amount of you know, mental strength and concentration to do that, especially at a track around here where you can make a tiny mistake and it can cost you quite a bit.
There was late drama as well for you, Jack. Jorge Martin, we've just seen on screens, he came up the inside of you, up the hill into the first corner. Talk us through that from your perspective about what happened.
Yeah, he went for a lunge, much as he did in Silverstone at turn 1. I don't know if he wanted to stay on the track or not, but yeah, I grabbed a bit more brakes in the straight line braking just to try and get the cut back, and thankfully I did that and was able to avoid a bike sliding across the track. So unfortunate for him, but yeah, made my last lap a little bit more chill, so it was all right.
We know the guy sat next to you is having the best run of his Grand Prix career right now. He's going to be pretty tough to beat, but we can see in general the team's working fantastic. You're having a great experience right now on the GP22. Some cracking tracks coming up as well when we think of Misano, Aragon, Japan, the Ducati's always gone well at, Buriram too, your home Grand Prix in Phillip Island. Shall I just carry on with the list? I mean, there's opportunities in there coming in the second part of the season for you to take another couple of wins.
As you said, you know, the list goes on and on. I'm super excited to be heading back overseas, heading back to my side of the world. You know, these Euros have had all the races on their side of the planet for the last couple of years, so it'll be nice to get back over the other side. And no, I mean, you know, the team's in great form at the moment, as you said. Pecco with the 3 in a row, matching Casey. I mean, it shows how good he's riding at the moment, especially at the level of MotoGP at the moment. To do that in this day and age is incredible. So hat off to him and the whole team, and it's just amazing to be a part of it. You know, even if we are playing number 2, goose to his Maverick, but you know, it's one of those things that's cool to be a part of, and hopefully we can keep this momentum and the good vibes in the team going through to the end of the year, because I feel like when we're happy and gelling like this, it's bringing the team's results better. It brings the morale up in the box, and I think, you know, with that all happening, everyone's super happy to do the work, and we're, you know, getting the results. So it's awesome to see.
As always, Jack, you put on another great show for the fans today, as all three of you did. Your race winner then, Pecco Bagnaia, second to Fabio Quartararo. Jack Millett completing the podium. We'll now invite questions, please, from the floor.
Hi guys, congratulations. Thomas Beaujard from GP Mag in France. Question to Fabio. Do you think the complexion of the race helped you not overheat your front tire because you were on your own for quite a while? Did you fear that if you were close to the Ducatis right from the beginning of the race, it would have been a bit more tricky for you?
Not really. First of all, the hard in the beginning was tough to warming up. Then at the end, I feel straight away if the front is not so great. The only corner I was struggling quite a lot was turn 4, but in general the front was quite okay.
Hi guys, this is Frank Weying from Ziggo Sport in the Netherlands. A question for Pecco and one for Fabio, please. Pecco, after the race in Silverstone, you said that you had phoned or had been in touch with Valentino and also with Casey. You said the advice that Casey gave you maybe was for a later date. Could you use his advice here? And do you have an explanation why, let's say, the start of the weekend has been quite difficult for you, not just this weekend, but also in previous weekends? And my question to Fabio. Fabio, what was more important for you today? Lose only 5 points to Pecco or win 10 to Alex?
Yes, sincerely, I spoke again with Vale and with Casey this weekend. With Vale is more like my mentor he gives to me always advice about tires. And he was saying to me today, don't use the soft front because we'll be long with the soft front. And I use the soft front, so he will for sure say something to me. And about Casey, Friday helps me to understand better, maybe some situation, because looking from the television maybe, or for his experience that he wrote here with Ducati, he felt something, and it's like a comment on his experience, and I try to see if I try something about his experience, and in this week maybe something was helpful for me.
For me, was both. At the end, you need to finish in front of your opponents. Clearly, I have two, Pecco and Aleix. But next week, I will maybe call Casey if he have also one tip for me. Will be great.
The second question, I didn't answer to the second question. I think that for that weekend, I was struggling with this casing because it was a different casing, and also last year at the start of the weekend I was struggling in the first weekend of Austria. So maybe with this casing I had to change a bit my riding style, and I use a lot the rear tire to stop the bike, and in this situation was more difficult to do because it's harder, so maybe it's the reason.
Imre Paulovic from Motorsport Aktuell and Motorrad from Germany. Question to Fabio. Fabio, yesterday Aleix mentioned that you are by far the best rider on the grid today, and on the best bike you would be easily far ahead of everybody. So how do you personally see the performance you have now and the level of performance? Is there anything that you can still improve, or is this what is absolutely possible?
I don't like to say if you are the best rider or not the best rider. I know right now I'm doing my best, and we are having some difficulties with our bike. In this track, I expect much worse because we used such a short gearing that at the end the first gears I could stay with Jack, then later no. But you never know. You know, of course now the Ducati is really strong, but it's not only the Ducatis. You can put a perfect bike, but if you don't have the riders, is on the back. So it's difficult to say. I feel I'm at my best level right now, but I don't want to be pretentious, but of course he's a good compliment from Aleix.
Paolo Ianieri, Gazzetta dello Sport. Another question for Fabio. You were saying that up to a couple of years of races ago, Aleix is your main opponent because of the points. You still think like that, or the way Pecco is coming back? I mean, he's taken you 47 points in 3 races. He's quite eroding a lot of the advantage you had. Have you changed your mind or not?
Well, in Silverstone, I said Pecco is the man of the last races, and I say that he's the man to beat. He's the favorite right now in the last races. But of course, I have 2 opponents. I have Pecco and Aleix. Then we see in the next races. I'm really looking forward to arrive to Misano, and then also the overseas. I think is quite. It will be nice to arrive to tracks that we've never been since 2019. So I have these 2 opponents, and then for the championship, and then for the races, I have many more.
Hi, Adam Wheeler from On Track Off Road. A question for Pecco and Jack. It's another Ducati win here at the Red Bull Ring. After 28 laps, how was kind of the new layout? Did it make the experience of racing here better or worse? Johan Zarco said it felt, it made the race slightly less physical. What's your opinion?
For me, this is one of the easiest in terms of physical condition, the race, because you don't have really to push on the bike. You have just to have force on the braking, but then it's not so hard to physically. So the new chicane sincerely doesn't change anything. For sure, in terms of layout, the oldest one was better for our bike, but in this case is more for all the bikes, and physically is not the main one.
Yeah, I mean the track's safer. We didn't see anybody nearly die at turn 3 this year, so that's already a positive. And yeah, the chicane was fun. I think it threw in another aspect of the track because a lot of the corners were very similar, and now at least you've got another element there, some slow, like probably the fastest change of direction in the calendar. And it's got a lot of grip. You can really whack it on coming out, so it's a lot of fun. And I think as the race distance went on, I definitely started struggling there. I think it added another element to the track when the tyres get used and whatnot, and the things sort of getting a bit squirrely as you're changing direction. So for sure, I wouldn't say it made it less physical. It's 28 laps around here, around anywhere on a MotoGP bike, it's always physical. Maybe not for Pecco, he's Iceman, but I was getting pretty tired of pulling the brake lever.
Hi, Matt Oxley from Motorsport Magazine England. Pecco already touched on this. I know we have the stiffer casing tyre here, and I just wanted to ask all 3 of you, how much did you struggle adapting the bike to the different tyre, and how did you adapt your riding technique, both braking and accelerating? Thank you.
For me, maybe it's because my riding style don't suit so well on this rear tire, but just because I use a lot the rear tire to stop the bike, and this one is harder. So for me, that one was the reason why I was struggling a bit at the start of the weekend.
For me, it's always the same. I think Mandalika, our bike at the end is not really sensible to that thing. So even when we change something, the bike is always is much more tough to ride than in the past. But for the casing, I think I didn't change anything.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I didn't have to change my bike very much. As I said, since Barcelona test, we haven't adjusted much. We went a little softer than we expected on the rear, and mainly played with the mat more for the slower corners, just to stop this initial overspin. Creating that's probably, I mean, you got a lot less rubber on this tire, and that little sort of microsecond of overspin each time is what cost you the tire wear. So that was about it. I mean, the tyre worked fantastic. As we saw, many guys going for different options, so I think it's been a good weekend.
Michel Turcot, Motor Revue France. Two questions, one for you, Fabio. How much the new chicane did help you to stay in the game with the Ducati this weekend? And another one for you, Jack. If you have to rate the pass of Fabio today with comparing to the one he did in Mandalika on you, what will be your note?
Well, of course it helps because, like I've said, this weekend, the final laps, I could stay with Jack second, third gear, but fourth, then he was pulling a little bit away, and you know, 4, 5, 6 is where we need the power, where we miss, and the chicane at the end you arrive in fourth gear. So at the end we had a gear super short and was helping us to stay with them. We put the 6th gear in 2 places that normally here we put only in 1.
Well, yeah, I only use 5th, so it's okay.
You have extra
the pass
power.
in,
Me too, like you.
The pass in Mandalika, where was? Yeah, but which one?
Straight one and to corner 4.
In the wet, yeah. I mean, today I was surprised how fast he came past me there, to be honest. I mean, watching it back, you know, it looks like I'm going at granny speed. But no, he had a good confidence, like I said, at that moment. I was really suffering in the left side. I didn't want to put the lean angle too quickly because every time I would do it, I would lose the front. So I was having to slow down, probably the fastest change of direction on the calendar. And he really attacked it, you know, hit curb and was able to get it done. So it was impressive. I think today was a 10 out of 10. He did the job. He was able to do that, and not only that, you know, I was coming back for the attack at turn 3, and he was able to do what he needed to protect the line. I was able to at least stay in front of Martin, but yeah, he was able to protect his line and able to open up at least enough of a gap that I wasn't able to attack again.
Gianmaria Rosati, Motosprint Italy. A question for Fabio. You arrived really near to Pecco at the end of the race. So, do you think that maybe with, I don't know, 2 more laps, the victory was possible or not? Thanks.
The race is 28 laps for everyone. So it's always easy to say 2 more laps. Of course, at the end, my pace was really strong, but I arrived too late. If there was 2 more laps, I don't know. But the race is finished.
For me, yes. 2 more laps, yes.
2 more laps, yes, sure, because you would have been out of petrol.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
Also.
I know how much we were on the limit.
And also me.
Yeah, so.
I did that. I'll race the 18 laps with less power for that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Pecco, Fabio and Jack, congratulations today. We will see you in Misano in 2 weeks' time. Well done, guys.